Good morning, everybody, to the Social Show. As per usual, this is your one-stop shop for all things CSI and CSR related. And today we've got such an amazing show. I'm so excited. And I really hope that you are having a great day and a great morning, because it really is a beautiful morning. And it's time that we start talking up and we start speaking up about the things that are not going so well and the things that are going well. Remember, we're all about making sure that the mantra of our every single day is hope and good stories and good news, and just making sure that our country is protected in all its glory. As per usual, I'm going to start off the day with the news. Pick n Pay has launched a new Super Animals collection, and this time it's focused on South African animals, which will be given out as a pack for collectible cards every time consumers spend 150 at any Pick n Pay. The campaign will run until the 4th of June, or until the animals cards run out, whichever is first. There are over 100 cards to collect and swap, and all categorized into major biomes in South Africa: wetlands, ocean, savanna, fynbos coast, Namakuru, thicket, succulent, karoo, and forest. Collectors are encouraged to replace them in the correct slot in the special edition collector's album and learn more about animals that inhabit these biomes. The facts of each animals have also been arranged on the card in such a way that kids can enjoy competing against each other in a fun game comparing act. And the collector's album, once filled with trivia and educational activities, will sell, as I said, at Pick n Pay for 20 Rand, with 1 Rand from every album sale going to SANParks. In a recent press release, Pretorius, who is the head of the campaign, said they have a relationship with SANParks. This is Pick n Pay, and through their already the Kids in Parks program, which takes over 5,000 children from underprivileged areas into South Africa's national parks every year. And this makes a difference to each child who visits the South African famous parks. Okay, in other news, we have Mimi Woman CEO and founder Ramona Kasavan will be reaching out to disadvantaged women in rural areas to raise awareness on Mimi BizBox on this Freedom Day. Now, Mimi BizBox is a business in a box tool, whereby disadvantaged women can sell affordable sanitary pads in their local community, thereby creating an independent living for themselves. Mimi BizBox is a business in box tool, as I said, that hopes to see how women have, obviously women have historically played second fiddle to their male counterparts in earning an income, despite the demographic fact that women increasingly have to step up as the sole breadwinners in their families, explains Kasavan. She also said that the South African census statistics of 2011 reported that 14% of population's households are headed by women, and 5 of how the households have female breadwinners, where a married woman is the head of the household. For such women, says Kasavan, taking control of your financial future is no longer a matter of choice, but a matter of absolute necessity. Women have the right to financial freedom, as well as the freedom to choose any education they want. And that was from Kasavan, who is, as I said, the CEO of Mimi BizBox. Lastly, in our news, unfortunately, the entries have closed for the Global Impact Challenge for the Singularity University. Now, this challenge is open call to innovators, entrepreneurs, scientists, and technologists to foster moonshoot innovations and startups that positively impact the lives of people living in Southern Africa. The goal is to hold a Southern African GIC to identify a diverse number of talented innovators in Africa who can put forth creative solutions to long-standing problems. Once applications are reviewed, we look forward to seeing or welcoming the winners to the 9-week global social Solutions Program in Singularity University. And that concludes our news for today. Thank you so much. Okay, welcome back to the social show. As you know, today I'm talking about humanitarian art. What is it? What is it about? If you don't know, today is going to be the day that you know. I have a really lovely guest with me. I have Yakima Waner, who is a humanitarian artist.
Correct.
Yeah, so can you just tell us briefly about what motivated you to pursue this specific career? Because I haven't met or come across any humanitarian artists in a while.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. I did my degree in fine art and film at Wits. And when I left, I wanted to find a way that I could bring my skills to the community. So I created a foundation in a way that I could find art, if it's music, film, debate, whatever element that speaks to art, to see how we could help environment, humanities, all those type of elements that affect the planet and humanity, basically. So I have a company, it's my own NPO, called Intent Conscious Media.
Okay.
And I work with other documentarians or artists or musicians that want to pay it forward.
Yeah.
So whoever I come across that's interested in such things, we do projects together. And then every little element, if it's the music or if it's the actual documentarian or the cameraman or whatever that wants to pay it forward, they can come together. We do need sponsorship. So it's always a big issue for us because we travel. Yeah. We do projects local and overseas. Yeah. So like the latest documentary we did was in India.
Okay.
So it was quite difficult and it was intense experiences that I don't think people are aware of that happens behind the scenes. Yeah. When people watch a documentary, they just see the visual on the screen, but they have no idea what we go through.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we do it for our planet. Definitely. And we do it to create a message or I believe energy goes where it recognizes itself. So if we put out good energy, we, in a way, bring it towards us.
Lovely. I want to ask, actually, just from a personal point of view, what or who is your favorite artist in this category of, being humanitarian?
Oh, no, that's difficult. I think William Kentridge is incredible.
Lovely.
The things he did concerning political sciences and even his background. He's a Witsie, which is cool. I can relate to him in that. I think Wits is an amazing foundation and an amazing environment to explore because you meet amazing people that will change your life. And I think William Kentridge was an incredible South African artist for me. There are artists, I must admit, because I did fine art.
Yes.
Visual artists like Frida Kahlo and artists like that have always impacted me. But I think humanity art is a environment. It's new.
Yes.
I think art is about humanity.
Yes.
It's an expression of who we are. So, but I think it's a bit of a difficult one because I think everyone contributes to humanity art because we are human. So we live it.
Yeah.
And I think what's important is when you see a visual or you see a painting or you hear music, it's the death of the author. So basically you've created something, you've put it out there, and there's new interpretation, there's new emotional connection. Everything's different, but at the end of the day, I think all art concerns humanity.
I want to throw a little bit of a curveball. And I don't know how politically affiliated you are or you know about what's happening in the country. I'm sure you are. A recent picture, or rather a painting just came out by a really, I think, amazing artist, Ayanda Mabulu, where he depicted Zuma, our president Zuma, as well as our late president, Nelson Mandela, and in quite a conflicting position. What are your thoughts about that specific painting and the reactions that were visible not only in media, social media, but also just the reactions from the political elite?
I think art is very, very powerful.
Yes.
It can upset people. I remember the other day I saw the latest cartoon from Zapiro, and it upset a lot of people. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about.
No.
The rape of the country.
Oh, yeah.
And it really, really frustrated and upset a lot of people. I've dealt with people that have been raped. I know it's a very, very difficult topic. But that artwork, that cartoon, it's not really a cartoon. It loses that it's joking or whatever element of cartoon. that is an exceptional, powerful tool because it brought up the issue. Art is supposed to make us look at the problems at hand. We're not supposed to just look behind, look away. We are supposed to deal. And art does that.
Yeah.
So people, even if they're upset, I saw a post that someone was very upset with that Zero piece because it brings up issues within themselves.
Yeah.
But the reality is he's facing it for you. He's creating power for you. So this latest painting you're discussing, it is an issue that we as South Africans have to face.
Yeah.
So we can't just be like, paint pretty pictures.
Yeah.
There are incredible people in history, like I'm just going to bring up Hitler, that painted pretty pictures.
Yes.
Pretty little landscapes.
Yes.
And now think what was associated with that man. And those are the paintings he painted.
It wasn't his reality.
It was not his reality. So we're not going to paint little beautiful pictures of a situation. We as South Africans, we do have democracy within ourselves. Yes. Even though we have issues to think, we really have democracy. One thing I've noticed, I've traveled a lot in my life, South Africans can talk.
Yes.
They can speak and they can share how they feel. There are countries you go to that you don't even have that opportunity. You don't have the opportunity to speak up. You speak up and you, in some countries like in Korea, you want to have a Christian lifestyle or believe in what you believe, you'll get locked up. Yeah. Because certain countries do not believe that you can practice religion. In this country, we have so many freedoms. Yeah. And we take that for granted. Yeah. Allow this art to bring up our issues. Yes. Because we need some sort of foundation in order to do that. How else are we going to do it? Yeah. Before, people in this country were oppressed. Through our art, this is a man that's discussing, a man that also faced oppressions, knows what those oppressions are about, and now he's discussing it through his visual art. Yes. And in this country, if we supposedly have true democracy, that is the way to democracy.
Definitely. And I've heard so many crazy threats on his life, not only threats on and also just getting him, ANC officials, a lot of people want to get him off. So I really agree with you when you say we have to bring them up and we have to deal with them. And then
brandlive.co.za.
Okay, now going back to your work. Which projects have really changed what you thought you knew about the ecosystem, about the environment, about people? Sometimes you think especially because I'm also a Witty.
Okay.
So I know you go with this really great foundation and then get into the world and you're like,
things change.
And I was wrong or I was right, whatever the case may be. Which were the projects that really changed what you thought you knew?
I think what was very, very important for me when I left school was that I traveled for 2 years. Okay. So it gave me a foundation before I went into Wits. Because I'm just going to put it out there, fine arts is a very difficult subject to do because it's an expression of yourself on a canvas, and you get annihilated.
Oh my word.
You get critiqued.
Yes.
So I was very thankful that I traveled. I had the opportunity to travel. I traveled to Vietnam. I traveled to countries that changed my perspective and made me grow. Okay. But talking about a film or a project that really changed my life was my latest documentary. Okay. I was in a country that had no money. We were in dire situations. I was in India during the time when they reclaimed the 500 rupees and the 100 rupees, and it was this major thing. Wow. There was no money for us. And because we were because we're not from India, I don't have an Indian bank account, it was worse. So we, 1 minute, were in the middle of the Himalayas, we were in the forests, and we came back to a country with no money, and Donald Trump became the president of the United States. So this is what we came back to, leaving the place that we were in. Yeah. But now coming back to where we were, the Himalayas, people are not aware. When they look at the Himalayas, you think of high mountains, you think of ice, you think of snow. Yes. So we were in a lower stage. We were in the green Himalayas, and they are suffering terribly with drought. Yeah. So it affected us quite badly because we were on the understanding that we're going to go find snow leopards and we're going to create conservation and try and help. That was the initial plan. Yeah. I did go there to help an amazing organization called Himalayan Ecotourism. Yeah. They found me and they said, come through and make us a sustainable documentary, not for the world, for the people there. Yeah. So it was an incredible opportunity because you had to think completely out the box. There is a foundation in how we approach the world.
Yes.
It's a basic, how like BBC or whatever, you know your market, your target market. This was different.
Yeah.
We were communicating to people with a completely different culture to us. And this is where things changed.
Yeah.
Before I left, my mother asked me, how are you going to approach these people that have a completely different understanding of the world as you do? Because they don't understand that they are in one of the most vulnerable areas on the planet to climate change. But anyway, they live a more harmonious life to nature than that we do in this environment. However, those people we rely on. Their understanding of the environment affects every one of us. And that was amazing when we got there. We're like, this is real. We could see, we spoke to these women. I don't think anyone's ever asked these women these questions. And what was so special in this documentary is I took the approach because in my project, I've got a new project called my voice camera project.
Okay.
Where we give women and children an opportunity to speak.
Okay.
In areas that they wouldn't usually have an opportunity to discuss what they feel about their environment.
Okay.
So when we got there, we spoke to women and we asked, how's the environment changed, or how's your ecosystem changed compared to when you were a child to now? And they'll show you the snow used to be to their shoulder length, now it's at their waist. And that hits you. It affects you. And we speak to children, and it's hectic because these women are saying they never think of it. They think we need to change today for our kids because when we were children, it was much easier. The seasons were more calm or more solid to harvest. Now they're erratic. There's erratic water. And this is going to affect our kids. And the amazing thing is that really, really, I think, touched me because I went and I sat with the little girl, our main star. Her name's Janisha.
Okay.
Janisha means go darkness in Hindi. She's the driving force in our documentary called To Wake Buddhi. What's amazing about her is that she has nerves palsy, so she's disabled on her arm. And how this little 5-year-old, it always gets me crying, but today I'm going to be good.
You're going to be strong.
I'm going to be strong. How she comes to me and she says to me, this arm doesn't work. Will you please help me? Like, put a jacket on or whatever. Because she has this mission to save the forests around her.
Yeah.
5-year-old. And what the main ambition of this story is that the fires happening there are very intense.
Yeah.
Like one morning I woke up and I saw this beautiful, I thought it was a mist, and I took a time lapse, and the guy came to me and said to me, that's smoke. And I thought, what? That's smoke?
Wow.
So he's like, yeah, that is smoke. Because what's happening is that they don't have enough knowledge on the forest fires that are happening there, and they are man-made for reasons of greed. They're not reasons of sustainability.
It's just greed.
It's greed. And it's an amazing organization because they've made a eco-friendly stove, and they are teaching the women to become more empowered and become more sustainable to the environment because they are the nurturers of it.
Definitely. Actually, just talking about To Wake Buddhi, let's talk a little bit about your vision for the project. I know you said it changed. I know that a lot of things, rattled you a little bit. But what is it that you think people are going to get now when they sit down and they watch the documentary? And where can they watch it as well?
Okay. What was an amazing reaction that I actually got from Kwandile Sekusana, the gentleman that was on your show. He helped me. He's amazing, part of my life as well. We're partners in crime and a lot of things we do.
Lovely.
And he started showing the documentary on his page into certain people. And what was beautiful is that immediately I got a reaction from one of the people we showed that I wanted was, this is a child talking.
Yeah.
This is our kids. And this little girl is aware of what's going on around her, and she's not happy. For a 5-year-old to say, you are destroying my planet, please wake up. Without these trees, and she says in the documentary, without these trees we're dead. For a 5-year-old to understand that, a 5-year-old shouldn't think like that.
No.
And this is pushing these kids and women to be aware of what's going on in the environment. So what I want from it is, I just want people to sit down and think of their children. Basically, what's going to happen if we don't treat our trees with more respect? Universally. not just in India.
In India, yeah.
This area is very important, so I would like people to think just in their own daily lives, how can they improve?
Yeah.
Because I've had people come to me and say they watch shows on Discovery or whatever about these whalers, these people that go out and try and fight these, and it's a little dinky boat compared to a huge ship.
Yeah.
And they're like, but how's that person even going to make a difference? It's their intention.
Yeah.
They can save one whale's life. You can save one tree's life. You are making a much bigger, you're becoming a part of such a big picture that will change the planet. And believe me, the planet does not need us to live. We need it.
Yeah.
We need that planet to survive. So
Yeah.
I know there's lots of issues around climate change. That does people really think we're so significant that we can really change weather? We can, because it's a group consciousness.
Yes.
And also there's too many. It's overpopulation. So we need to become more wiser. And just the main thing is respect. I just want people through this documentary to understand and gather some respect.
Definitely.
That's the main thing for me. I don't want the universe to become now eco-friendly and go hug every tree they see. It wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that respect is such an important force in how we treat nature, how we treat animals, how we treat one another. Respect. And this documentary, I hope it creates some foundation of respect.
Definitely. I know it was Earth Day just the other day on the 22nd of April, and I did a few of my investigating, and I just found out what South Africans are doing for Earth Day.
Yes.
And it was so scary because I don't even think 10% of the population of South Africa knew it was Earth Day, let alone what it is they need to do.
Yes.
So I completely understand the concept of respect, and also just knowing that you're not far from the environment. A lot of people think they're beyond it or better than the environment, but they're part of it. So I completely agree with you. I know you were part of a few programs that are with Kwandile that I had previously on my show.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your programs. Tell me a little bit about the work that you've done. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing in South Africa currently, what you're thinking of doing. What are your plans going forward?
Okay. Our main project is getting a university in Brakpan, in Ekurhuleni. And we actually have had some good news concerning that.
Lovely.
I don't want to say anything at this point yet.
Okay.
But it actually is good news.
Lovely.
It's a project that my father is very passionate about, and it was my grandmother that felt that education needs to be more prominent in Ekurhuleni because we are a powerhouse of this country and we do not have a university. Okay. We don't have a university, and it's very important that we do have one.
Yes.
So that's one of our projects that we've been working on. And it's been an amazing adventure because we face people that don't necessarily see your vision. Yeah. And that is not easy. But constant pushing, positivity, all those things is what is going to change these things at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that we're working towards.
Lovely.
In South Africa. Another thing we're working is in screenings in townships of films, helping people get a platform.
Yes.
Also, what's lovely is that documentaries about townships, directing to that audience. And that was another thing in Wake Buddhi, is that you're speaking to the people that are living in those environments or in those locations, making them think recognition. That's another thing I did not bring up. I think in my documentary that's also very, very important is recognition. Yes. And that's in a lot of the projects we do. You're recognizing people that are usually put in the darkness. Yeah. Your life's not that valuable, so basically you stay there.
You keep quiet.
We want to recognize the people that have amazing voices and actually make South Africa what it is. Yeah. And they definitely do. Some of the people we've come by can really change this country. Yeah. So that's another thing we've been working on. And then we have another project called Project Tali. Project Tali is actually towards children in townships, making them have fun or enjoy environments that they wouldn't usually, and also through their loves of in humanity. So let's say if it's music, literature, or whatever, we try and push children to do artwork or do that type of media based on environment. So they see that we can protect our environment through our arts, basically. So that's Project Tali. Okay. And it's a documentary about a young little girl that lives in a world with no water. and very little water.
Yeah.
And through the concrete environment that she lives in, she creates this idea of a beautiful environment through chalk.
Wow.
So she sketches her environment that she wishes it to be, and then at the end you actually see the environment she's stuck in. But her imagination, her strong imagination is what creates power and hope.
Yeah.
And I feel that's a big thing in a lot of my documentaries is I concentrate on stories of hope and change instead of negativity. I do not want to pry on the negativity. I do not want to waste my time on the negativity because it's pointless. I try and look for stories in this country or in the world that I know can make a change.
Yes.
And that is my motif, my motto.
Your
in
vision,
life.
yes.
My vision in life.
Yes.
Is to concentrate on stories in South Africa or wherever it might be that bring hope.
Lovely. I love the fact that you're using art because I think it's such an important tool that people aren't necessarily using as you know, an agency free voice. So I think that's beautiful. Lastly, where can people get a hold of your new documentary or any work? Give us all of the details. And also, if people want to sponsor, remember this is the time you can get a hold of Yakima on the following handles.
We really do need help. We do. There's times that we. So you can see Buddhi on To Wake. So it's TOWAKE, Buddhi, BUDDHI.com. And on there you can contact us. There's a contact page that you can send us a message, and also there's an initiative and projects page showing all our projects associated with To Wake. That they can contact us. So they can contact me on the site. They can also get me on my email address, which is K for Kilo, I for India, M for Mary, I for India, 8812 at yahoo.co.uk. And yes, they can get us there. And then I'm on Facebook, Yakima Waner, or Intent Art.
Okay. Lovely. And if you guys want to know a little bit more, we'll have all of that information on our social TV pages on Facebook as well as on my personal Twitter page. So we're going to be running that. Thank you so much for coming in and telling us a little bit more about what you do. And also, I love your vision, and I hope it goes from strength to strength from today onwards. Thank you for coming through.
No problem. I just want to say a message to South Africa or whoever's listening. I feel that every single one of us as South Africans have an obligation to make this country the best it can possibly be. And I think Mandela has started that. And I think it's very, very important that we continue that legacy. And every single one of us, instead of one Mandela looking at this amazing man, we need to make ourselves have that essence within ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we can make a difference. It doesn't matter for who, we can change our South Africa.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Lovely.
Bye.
Guess who got brands talking? Brandlive.co.za